It is National Crime Victims' Rights Week, and it's an opportunity for all of us, prosecutors, investigators, advocates, supporters, to come together and to really celebrate what it takes and the courage that it takes to come forward and to speak the truth and to ultimately go through with the criminal justice process. This year's theme there's a theme every year. This year's theme is rights, access, equity for all victims. Today is hopefully a celebration of all of that. I want to also just take a minute to acknowledge the incredible work of our advocates here in our office. For those of you that don't know, we have many advocates that help folks through the process. We could not do this job without them. They support victims and witnesses, oftentimes in very, very difficult circumstances that people didn't necessarily want to be in. They don't want to participate in. But for us to really do our jobs, we have to have people participate. So I cannot thank them enough. Where's Nina? Hiding back there. There's a number of things. I mean, without going into detail, the recent shooting in downtown, it was our advocates that were out there helping with crisis intervention, informing folks of their rights, giving them resources and community referrals, helping them get victims' compensation. So I want to give them a shout out, because without their support and their help, we couldn't do this job. For those of you that don't know, Nina Acosta is the program manager. She's done an incredible job. She's also the chair of what we call our Voices for Victims Coalition, which is something that we created within about the last year or so, because we want to make sure that victims have a voice in the policies that this state sets. And so oftentimes we may ask them to come forward and tell the legislature about what it means to be a crime victim and why something is or isn't a good public policy. We also have community leaders that are part of that coalition. So I just want to thank, if there's some folks that are listening live stream that are part of that coalition, thank you for all the work that you do. We can't, again, be an advocate both in the courtroom and in the community without your help. So let me just give you an overview about today's program. This was all set up kind of during the COVID days, so that's why we're here kind of in a staggered way. We're going to do 4 presentations this morning. We'll take a break at 10:30, come back at 11, take a break at lunchtime, come back at 1:30. And just so you know, over here we have our memory quilts. So these have been something that have been part of this ceremony for many, many years. It's from our Homicide Support Network. And I think what's important is that we never forget folks. We never forget their faces and their names, because these are human beings that lost their lives to homicide. So with that, we're going to start this morning with our Outstanding Citizens Awards presentations. For those of you that don't know, how do we get to this place? You're nominated by deputy DAs or victim advocates or investigators who understand what you had to do to stand up and have courage to come forward. And with that, I'm going to introduce Jesse Saucedo and Maylene Chong to do our first Outstanding Citizen Award.